The Bishop didn't like the crack, so the DJ left the town, everybody. Welcome to the Football Ramble. Thierry Henry's got a new gig. It's Wednesday, 23rd of August. I'm Marcus Speller.
I'm Jim Campbell.
I'm Vish and Pete.
And I'm Pete Donaldson.
Hi, everybody. Good to have you with us on this wonderful Wednesday. Thanks to John O'Shea for that intro line.
Sorry?
From, not the John O'Shea.
We don't know that.
A John O'Shea.
We don't know that.
Well, at the moment, we have to call him A John O'Shea. Okay. It's from the song the DJ, Tommy K the DJ by Mike Denver from the album There's Only One Mike Denver.
You can't call your album that.
Yeah, well, he has.
Well, he's done it.
I did a quick Google search of Mike Denver before we came on, just to find out, are we getting stitched up here?
Right,
basically.
yeah, okay.
As far as I can see, we haven't.
Oh, sorry,
but maybe that alarm going off suggests.
I'm going to be playing out some audio later on, and I always forget to mute when my WhatsApp fires off.
I thought that was just the lawyers going, sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there.
Objection.
So, yeah, if you are going to use very obscure references from songs, that's fine. But, maybe leave the artist and the title of the song in there so I don't have to spend half an hour Googling it. I nearly went with Metin Selik's The Power of Love is a Curious Thing, because when I was handed these lyrics, I was genuinely listening to that song.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Curious.
But it's, well, Jim, exactly. So an honourable mention there, but I went with the Tommy K line. But do sign up to the Patreon to choose a line. Right, let's get down to some football business. There was a bit of football last night.
There was.
Involving a British club. A very British club, you might say. It was Glasgow Rangers 2, PSV Eindhoven 2 in a Champions League playoff game. Good game at Ibrox, Jim.
Yeah. A couple of brilliant goals for Rangers.
A couple of very good goals for Rangers, yeah. And Ally McCoist on co-coms at Ibrox is always preferable.
Yeah.
When Rangers scored the second goal, it was a questionable one whether the ball from Todd Cantwell. Nice to see Todd Cantwell, by the way.
Gliding around. He's
around.
going to have a lovely time.
He is.
We've got Jack Grealish at home.
Yeah. There was a question of offside, and McCoist was worried that it was going to be given as offside. And when the game restarted, he just went, "Check over, you beauty."
Lovely.
I quite enjoy it when people comment. For some reason in this country, everyone's like, commentators should be impartial. They should be impartial. Yeah, at times, like for Premier League games, yes, of course. You can't have Ian Drury go, yes! But for, when I quite like the stance.
I think you should get the option. We've got enough technology available now that
Jim, Sky Sports did it for fan comms.
They did, but if you do a better version of it, where you just get your professional,
that's essentially
partisan,
what the formerly known BT Sports did.
Well, yeah. But I think just you have an informal version and an unbiased version and an like overtly, openly biased version.
There was on TalkSport this morning, Ally McCoist was talking about how much he doesn't care for coffee.
Yeah, good man. I'm the same.
That's all he's got. That's all we've got this morning.
I can't stand the stuff.
Child's palate.
Yeah, you don't like any hot drinks, do you?
No.
Why would I want hot liquids other than soup in my mouth?
Why does it change
Why do you want
with
soup
soup
in your
then?
mouth?
Yeah, why do you want soup in your mouth, Marcus? Soup boy.
Because it's got a bit of stock in there.
It's got a bit of stock in
so
there.
if you add like beef,
salt,
Beautiful British stock.
like Bovril.
That's a good one. Miso?
No, because I'd rather just put Marmite on me toast.
Chicken coffee.
Nonsense, poopy pants. Well, make it and we'll see. We'll talk.
Okay, all right. If I make that, you will try it.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Although I'd want to see you make it, I think.
In summary, Alan Brazil can't be arsed with any of it.
No, good man.
He knows what drinks he likes.
I was about to say. It just gets in the way.
You'd think coffee would have helped him out doing the breakfast show.
You really do.
Yeah.
How does he do that when he does? Imagine if he has a coffee. Well, I can drink more now.
I
thought there were two different versions.
If Matondo's volley had gone in right at the end of that game, I don't think we would have seen Ally McCoist again. No.
You think he would have blasted off?
That would have been it, like a champagne supernova.
Did you see Luuk de Jong booted a door off its hinges?
What?
Really?
During the game?
Yeah. Well, I think he stormed off down the tunnel and he booted a door off its hinges at Ibrox, and he's going to have to pay for it.
Yeah,
pay for it.
Well, of course he is.
That's impressive, though, right?
Yeah.
You think you could do that? I couldn't.
Depending on the. Most of the doors in my house I could and have. But yeah, I think it's quite difficult. You'd have to really place it next to the hinge, wouldn't you? The booting.
I guess so.
Which
implies he's done it before.
Yeah.
There's a slight Terminator vibe about him.
Is there? What,
Terminator 2.
I know what you mean.
T-1000.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, about
At any
Luuk de
moment
Jong.
he could enact a collapsed lung like he did at Newcastle.
I was about to say, how do you reflect on his time at Newcastle? 12 appearances, no goals.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, but nice to see his face though.
It is nice to see
Scored
his
one
face.
off the shoulder.
32?
Yeah, no,
Wild.
that happened?
Wild. Yeah.
I thought he was older.
Him and
I
Cisco
thought
left
he was
Newcastle a
older.
year ago. You asked me.
Blimey. Well, look, the tie is nicely placed. Nicely placed. yes.
Poised
is the word I'm looking
Placed.
for.
Poised and placed.
Exactly, yeah, because if you've been to Eindhoven, I haven't, but I assume it's a lovely place. But it's poised. And of course, we've seen Rangers triumph there before. So let's see what goes on when that comes around. Tonight, everybody, this is quite a nice one, this. Aston Villa go to Hibs in the Europa Conference League qualifier. And John McGinn faces his old side, of course.
The power arse.
Yes, indeed. Do you know, he said last year that if he didn't have his arse, he'd be at Yeovil Town.
He did say that, didn't he? Yeah.
Do they all have slimline bottoms at Yeovil?
Slimline
Yeah.
bottom.
I think if you work for Yeovil Town, you probably think, why have you brought us into this?
Yeah.
How precise is
Sounds like a slim
your
bottoms.
model of this other timeline? How have you worked this out?
Stood in the stands. You got no junk in your trunk.
Yeah.
John
Boo.
McGinn.
I don't know if you saw the nickname that cropped up maybe 2 years ago of McGinn the Stallion.
Nice. I like that.
Very, very
Good
good.
McGinn
stuff.
the Stallion, should it not
yeah.
be?
No, but you don't pronounce the D.
I know, but I like to do that.
Fair enough.
They
You
call
know.
him McGinney Esther as well.
That's a good one.
Also good.
Yes.
Don't know about his arse though with me, with McGinney Esther.
Don't worry about that. He's one of your favourite players, is he not?
He is. He's so enjoyable. I don't know if you remember, but during Euro 2020, they went around the players and they did this video of people pronouncing their names. So, a lot of people on the continent with complicated names, how you pronounce them and with the phonetic spelling underneath. And I urge you, if you haven't seen it, watch the video because in the middle, John McGinn pops up going, John McGinn. Just like that. It's very good. It's very good. But he's very enjoyable. He's also one of those players that you kind of think he's about to hit his ceiling at some point. When Villa do really well, you're like, okay, I wonder if he's the guy who's going to be replaced. And actually, he's not. He's actually integral to their energy in midfield and also got a bit of craft about him as well. Very enjoyable. United were actually linked with him. Manchester United were actually linked with him.
Bloody love that.
Yeah, that would have been great. But obviously, it would have. But as I said, it'd be one of those signings where people are like, "Why are you going after John McGinn? Why can't we spend an inordinate amount of money on someone else who won't be as good?"
Yeah, you're
Feels
not
like
interested.
A very Alex Ferguson signing that.
Yeah, I'd have that.
Yeah, someone who
Steal.
who he just would improve, in that United team would just improve by being around better
But
players.
as we've talked about, Manchester United are not interested in any kind of balance in midfield this season.
no, I don't want it.
No, exactly. Yeah, so it's
Boring, isn't it?
Why
Well-
does this table have 4 legs? Get rid of one.
It's well overrated. Do you know both his brothers, Stephen and Paul? I say both. I know he's got 2 brothers. Stephen and Paul played for Hibs since he left. So he's a lot of McGinn pedigree at Hibernian. So it should be an interesting one tonight. So all eyes on that. Gentlemen, I'd like to move on to some troubling news coming out of the Manchester City camp. It was announced yesterday that Pep Guardiola has been suffering from severe back pain for some time and he's flown out to Spain for surgery. Odd when a manager gets an injury.
Yeah, but I mean, what's particularly odd about it is he's going to stay there for a while. Isn't he?
Yes.
He's actually taking some time out. He's going to miss games and everything, so it must be pretty serious.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We wish him well.
I could imagine he has a very high pain threshold as well. Think about how animated he's been, like jumping up and down and so on. A back injury is like, you can't mess around with them.
They're not great. They're about the worst thing that can happen
Yes.
to anyone.
Really?
The worst thing that can happen to
Right.
anyone. I just always think that it's usually the preserve of tall men who enjoyed their time in the dating scene, but it's time to pay the price.
piper.
Pay the piper. You got to pay the piper eventually. And I
this
go,
how
yeah.
you
Did you
short
enjoy
people think?
Tinder? Yeah. Well, you're going to get a bad back, tall man.
They had
Fascinating insight.
You'll be next 6 footer.
Have you
Shot
wearing-
Kings Unite. Come on.
Hey! Come on.
Yes. Come on.
Oh dear, lads, let's get rid of the Cuban heels. Come on, be proud of who we are.
I'll take my shoes off if you take yours off first. Would it be that surprising if at Bramall Lane, because City are playing at Sheffield United on Sunday, would it be that surprising if suddenly you looked over, no, just like holding his drip, still in his gown, just shouting, like, why is he still
with
here?
a little gown with his bot hanging out?
Yeah, like off his head on meds. Like,
Yeah. They'll have him on
Where's
an iPad
Nathan?
on a Segway, right?
Where's Nathan?
Where's my Nathan? Where's my
He used to play in red and white. Where is he?
Relax, drink water. Where's my Nathan?
Oh dear. Oh man, I think it's easy to get in the Man City starting 11 than a hospital gown. By the way, it's just ridiculous. But there we are.
Do you think this will affect them then? Not having him on the touchline?
Watching them at the
you would say
weekend,
yes.
no, because you can't get that effing ball off them. That whole setup is kind of built for Pep not needing to be there. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, it's a bit like with
guess.
Barcelona when he left there, and then was it Villanova, the late great Villanova, who then the idea that everyone just moves up one.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
He'll have an emergency weirdo ready.
of course. But
This one's really into trains. Hello. Where's Nathan? Oh, not you again.
Get me Tim Ream.
Yeah.
But like, I think Pete's spot on there when you think of like his previous two assistants have just gone on to manage clubs.
Yeah.
Like left and managed Arsenal, and Maresca's there at Leicester City as well.
But I think with Wadma, he's like there was chat about it. I think it was Man City released a statement about this, and then they said, but Pep and Wadma, they both love this game, and but this is like obviously like he's Pep Guardiola's assistant.
Yeah.
He's not half-arsed about football.
He's not his PA, is he?
I know, yeah. More of a rugby man, really, but I'll give it a go. But yeah, so it will be interesting, as you say, because he won't be there. But he's such a charismatic madhead that I would imagine it would affect the team somewhat. Although maybe it's a little holiday for them, perhaps.
They should have him up on the screen, watching from wherever he's recovering.
My goodness.
Mic'd up as well. Imagine it, just barking orders at them.
Yeah.
Dinky!
Maybe they'll get that lad who was in the crowd who was shouting at Pep at the weekend.
Oh,
Did you see
yeah.
that?
Maybe this is what this is all leading to. You think you can do a better job, can you?
Well, you got your opportunity now. I'm going for a plumbing back operation.
That'd be a flex, wouldn't it? How do you feel about this, Mikel?
Well, didn't Pep say that he was going to that lad should make a substitution or something or whatever?
The lad was shouting, "Pep, make a sub, make a sub."
Yeah,
He goes,
yeah,
do you want to come down here and do this?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't put it past Pep.
Redknapp-esque, innit?
Yeah, right.
Redknapp-esque.
There's been some good crowd participation at matches, actually, bearing in mind it's not always the case.
Crowd participation. It's not
we
the
never-
dynamic.
Yeah, we never talk
Not
about this,
welcome.
do we?
No,
We always
yeah.
complain about the racism,
Yeah,
people
right.
on the pitch.
I'm just saying, not
Homophobic
everybody.
chants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the young lad at Crystal Palace
Right.
when
One who shouted at Eric Cantona.
yeah,
him.
Like it was just a bit of banter.
It's just
you know
a
what I
bit,
mean?
yeah.
Who Cantona can't take a joke. No, no, it was the lad against Arsenal on Monday night who against Arsenal who got sent off. Tommy Asu. When Tommy Asu went down the tunnel, there was a lad who way past his bedtime. By the way, it's 8 o'clock kickoffs.
Yeah.
And he's really passionately pointing at the tunnel, whereas nowhere else to walk. Going, go tunnel, get down there. You know?
I forgot about him.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I hope he still feels shit about that result. A little punk.
Oh, there we
Tommy
are.
Asu.
Jim biting back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
against
see?
a child.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. For a change. But Jim, the big chat though coming out of Manchester City and Opta specifically have said that Manchester City have a 90% chance of winning the Premier League, and Arsenal only 4% chance.
Yeah,
that's a dig, isn't it?
That is a dig.
Two
I
games
don't know
in.
how they've worked that out,
Arsenal
but they
have got
tend to be quite good at these things. So that's a
Arsenal
bit
have got
worrying.
6 points.
Yeah, one of
with
only
2
3
games
teams.
in. How come it's 4?
Not even playing particularly well yet.
That's outrageous.
It is outrageous, isn't it? Is it a dig?
Yeah, it has to
Are
be.
Opta doing banter now?
There must be through fact.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it's a prediction, isn't it? It's not a
Well,
fact yet.
yeah, true.
I resent having to drag us back to the 90s, but very Quantum Leap-esque, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like, because those things going to go up and down. So Al,
My
being
goodness.
aided by,
Like this is a reference
Gushy.
I don't even get with.
No.
You haven't said
Big fan of Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Never watched Quantum Leap. Interesting.
You
Too busy
Nerd?
watching.
Speaks volumes, Jim, doesn't it?
It
Speaks
does.
volumes.
I was more about Dean Kane in the New Adventures of Superman.
Oh, he's gone off the boil.
Has he?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
gone
oh dear.
rather reactionary, let's say.
Let's
Oh,
move
wow,
on.
really?
Yeah.
He used to be Superman.
I know, and now he's not Superman.
Not so Superman.
Dean Kane, Jim Core, Matt Letizia.
Jim Carr, has he
Yeah,
gone?
Jim
Has he
Corr's
gone conspiracy
that
theory?
way, yeah.
Wow.
I think he always was, wasn't he? Thinking about it, yeah.
I think this is more for Ramble, uncut.
Ramble
when the show
uncut, right,
finishes.
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
so
fine.
perhaps we'll pick
Okay.
up.
Yeah,
the
let's
pieces of
save
that.
it for the people who pay. Yeah,
Well, we need to tell them who to avoid.
yeah, fair.
Vish,
fair.
for crying out loud. Let's move on to Liverpool, who also have been given a 4% chance of winning the title. Who's got the 2% chance, or have they shared it with just 1%? I don't know. But it's surely Opta will be able to tell you. McAllister's red card, nearly said Gary McAllister there. Alexis McAllister's red card against Bournemouth was overturned on appeal yesterday. Sent off in the 58th minute, of course, when Liverpool were 2-1 up. So good news for Jürgen Klopp and his gang. What did you think of this one, Vish? Did you think it was worthy of a red card?
No, I didn't, and I thought it was interesting how Liverpool approached it because reports emerged after the game that they were considering the appeal, but they were basically weighing up the risk of potentially getting it extended because that's what happens when it's when they deem it a frivolous appeal.
I think it's a strange rule, that isn't it? Because it's not automatically frivolous to appeal something like that.
No.
And the whole point of that kind of being there is a deterrent, so clubs don't appeal every single thing. But if it's genuinely frivolous, then just extend the ban. A thing like that could surely never be frivolous. I think it's really silly
Exactly,
and quite sort of combative from the FA as well. It's a strange one.
You don't really mean this. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's basically
Don't you question us?
Yeah, it's more like, how can we avoid the paperwork? Oh, right, just punish them further with the appeal. That's basically it.
You get the feeling that it doesn't help the game in any way.
No.
Like none of this is good. But to be fair, it doesn't happen very often in a season. They maybe like 2 or 3 a season gets kind of asked to be rescinded.
Yeah, true enough. And because it was a straight red card, wasn't it? That's why it could be appealed. Whereas if you got a second yellow, it's
like Tommy Asu. For example.
Again,
I would be appealing that.
It's
Tim Ream
seems
as well.
completely arbitrary that you can't appeal those.
very frustrating indeed. But Liverpool will have Mr. McAllister back in there. What do you think of Liverpool's start so far, Jim? Do you think it's a fair reflection that Opta have given Liverpool a 4% chance of winning the league?
I feel like their squad isn't quite finished yet.
You don't expect this to be a Liverpool from sort of 2 or 3 years ago, that kind of stuff?
I think they're going to have to get back up to speed to head towards that. I think they'll be better than last season, I would expect. There's a lot of unexpected change, but it's, we've been talking for a long time about how they needed a bit of a refresh. Maybe they wouldn't have perhaps expected to have lost Fabinho or Henderson, but it's happened now. There are fresher legs in there, new faces. You can get into you can get yourself into a rut, can't you, by trying to emulate the feats of a team from a few seasons ago when there are still a lot of those players around. And actually, I think Szoboszlai looks brilliant already.
Yeah. And McAllister, we know, is a very good Premier League operator and World Cup operator.
I think Endo might turn out to be sort of quite canny signing as well. Everyone's like essentially screaming out for a big name, a big sort of flashy new toy. But I think he potentially fills the role that they need in midfield there. So
Endo
I think,
for Endo.
Indeed, yeah. I think there's more to come from them.
More to come from them. So don't worry, Liverpool fans. We think there's more to come. Are you pleased that Thierry Henry's got a new gig?
Always.
It's been announced that he's the new coach of France under-21s, which also means he'll be in the dugout for the Olympic Games in Paris next summer. Oh, yes.
I mean, he's probably in the area next summer, isn't he?
Sometimes football gets it right.
Yeah. Do we know if he's a good coach?
I don't care about
and
that.
I'm asking that to someone who
is a good coach.
Well, who publicly, you're the first person who's ever said, well, certainly I've ever heard, who had a go at Thierry Henry as a pundit, and a few people backed you up. You said you thought he was a bit of a ninny, something like that.
Prat was the word. Astonishing, isn't it?
Well, it's just some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, But
I don't like hot drinks. That sort of cool stuff.
Yeah, is it some of the stuff that goes into his mouth? Is that the problem?
No. It's not what goes into a man's mouth that makes him unclean. It's what comes out of a mouth, the mouth that makes someone unclean.
What a sentence.
Where is that?
Where's that?
That sounds very Old Testament.
It is from the Bible. So to answer your question, Jim and Pete. But I did sort of row back on that because somebody who we all know who works with him said that wasn't the case.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is good. Like, if you get another clip of him shouting, shouting at players.
But surely at under 21 level, I mean, obviously, yes, they do need coaching, but what an inspirational figure to have for the young lads.
Got to be more than that, though, isn't it? I think
course.
some of the criticism of Henry as a coach has been that he, much like Glenn Hoddle had actually, was that he got frustrated that players essentially weren't as good as he was.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah.
And that's not ideal, is it? That's just not useful.
Yeah, but Hoddle could coach, though. But you're right that some of that criticism was there. I just, for me, the fact that he's going to be in Paris for the Olympics with the France under-21s or under-23s, is it? I think the age for the Olympics.
For the Olympics,
It's a lovely old job.
3 players over 23, and then the rest of the squad under 23s. Yeah, it is. So you just basically want to see him dressed nicely on the touchline.
Exactly. Yeah.
Frenchman goes to Paris.
Do you think that
Frenchman looks good in Paris?
we sort of look at his
Easily pleased.
we look at his career through our kind of like older lenses, so to speak. So 21-year-olds, is Thierry Henry going to mean a massive amount to them?
Yeah, he is.
in their age.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I think players like that, in terms of the reverence from fans who weren't around to watch them, it's carried through current players, and it's when they adore him and they see like players going up to him and hugging him.
So when Oasis used to talk about Paul Weller a lot.
There's a bit of that,
and he had a bit of an Indian.
I think that's absolutely spot on. I think even with you have it with bands where like they talk about their inspirations and suddenly everyone's really into them and whatever.
Yeah.
One of the only things I saw him do as Belgian assistant coach was score a ridiculous free kick, and De Bruyne and Lukaku were like all over him, and like that seems to be it.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of like clearly really talented, can tell like brilliant players how to do those things, and they still adore him, and that's part of the appeal. And I suppose maybe this is when we find out if I'd say this is when we find out how good a coach he is. They do have some fucking incredible young talent in France.
Like you can't mess that up, surely.
Yeah. Oh, he did with Belgium, so let's see.
Well,
no, he didn't. I'm joking.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah.
All right, Jim. Perhaps you'll maybe get behind this a bit more. Carlos Tevez has been reportedly made the new manager of Independiente.
Now there is a prat.
I didn't see him moving into management.
No,
I didn't see that either.
Yeah,
Not enough money in it.
He'll quit after 3 games because they've not got him a gold helicopter.
You say this, but there is a little bit of sort of football-y romance with Carlos Tevez. Did he not take a big pay cut to go back to Boca Juniors?
And they absolutely love him in Argentina, don't they? He's considered to be really the heart and soul of the team. There was a time where he was considered, that they loved him more than Messi, despite all the things Messi was doing. So
Messi had the last laugh.
Indeed. But for people who aren't quite aware of why I found Carlos Tevez so irritating, it was that he just sulked all the time and he'd like force his way out of clubs, and that time he wouldn't come off the bench for City, and I just found him to be a big baby, and that annoyed me about
But that
him.
whole thing off
But
the
it's
bench,
a long time ago.
There's 2 sides to that story, apparently. And he was a phenomenal player.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, the way he basically kind of went on strike, they signed Aguero, and then he came back, and then they won the league.
Yeah.
Like I do think he was an incredible player. I'd like the idea that what he takes from his playing career into his management career is just doing doggies up and down the touchline.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just keeping up with
the
play.
sulking.
Yeah.
Do you not like the fact that he was a big part of Man City mugging off Ferguson and Man United? The noisy neighbours, welcome to Manchester.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Of course not.
All right.
The arguably the worst thing to happen to the Premier League since Roman Abramovich. So no.
Yeah, if you put it like that, and I remember.
You're
I've
a bit
been born.
Tevez-y.
Thanks,
Squat.
Stocky.
Pratt.
Yeah.
Take a pay cut to go and play for Boca Juniors.
You would never do that, would you?
No, just pay me anything.
Also, you're a favour with South American football much more than I am. Is there not like a rivalry issue at play there?
Oh, but there's most of the clubs in the Argentinian league are in Buenos Aires.
Right.
And so, the rivalry is obviously Boca and River.
Yeah, but the fact that he,
Yeah,
It's just not River, right?
I think that's probably it. I think, as I say, there's so many in Buenos Aires. It's like, is he really going to go to somewhere like, I don't know, Rosario or out far the north? It's a very vast country.
Like if Frank Lampard takes over at Fulham, no one's going to kick off.
Okay, right, yeah.
But that's a bit different. I think that, he's just obviously going to manage somebody in the capital. So
yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and he can handle himself, don't worry.
Do you remember Carlos Tevez, the disappointed baby?
No.
When he was
It's another one of your pilots that
when he
made.
When he was at he went from Manchester United to City, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's right.
Famously.
Like hours before he signed for City, a Manchester United fan called her baby Carlos Tevez.
Oh,
Remember?
That's
and
silly.
but the baby's face in the photograph, and I've got it here.
Yeah.
makes me laugh more than any other baby's face because he looks so disappointed.
gutted.
He looks so gutted about the whole thing. Carlos Tevez, the baby.
Oh dear. I hope
I
that.
hope they're doing very well.
I hope his name is something different. My
Now.
goodness, gents, let's finish the half with something quite nice coming out of Malaga. Now, we recently heard about the Palmeiras fans who made the advert in New York Times Square aimed at their chairman on holiday, which
Like
was quite
this.
enjoyable,
Like
very
it.
enjoyable. Well, Malaga fans have done something like way better than that. They're so unhappy at their club not making a summer signing that a group of them went to the airport and picked some random tourist to greet as a new player. So they were there all in their kits. They had the band up, and they were all just celebrating. And some fella walks out, it's like, "Hey, he's here!" Imagine being on the receiving end of it.
He's so
bemused,
bewildered as well.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
He goes along with it, but he just out of, I guess, the pure scale of the peer pressure.
Yeah.
Well,
just explain it to me,
Yeah.
and I'll go along with
Well,
it.
if anybody went for a run during COVID when we were doing the clap for the NHS,
Yeah.
you know, it would be for a moment when you look up, you go, "What is that?" Oh, yeah, I understand that. But he didn't have the understanding,
No.
you know. But
Yeah.
it was that
No.
that moment of, what have I won something? Do I get a luxury car?
Do you remember there was a sketch
Surely
show?
give him 10 minutes as a sub.
Yeah, just bring him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that'll show the fans.
Oh yeah, you think that's funny, do you? What do you think of this?
There was a TV show once that basically I can't. It might have been Trigger Happy TV or something. They camped out outside a sex shop, and when
Yes.
the man comes
Yeah.
out, they put the banner going millionth customer, like balloons and stuff, and he's like, oh god.
Oh, dear.
I love this because it's absolutely like basically should be the dictionary definition of banter, or certainly what it used to be in terms of like
Yeah.
no one's getting hurt.
Yeah.
It's just funny. It's
Yeah.
fun. Also, peak banter. Shirt number 69.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, lovely little detail.
yeah.
If you're the club and you are trying to sign players behind the scenes, surely you're going, look at the reception you're going to get. He doesn't
Yeah.
even play for us.
Yeah.
Just a guy.
They'd done like a little. So had they done like a shirt and found out the guy's name and then wrote it on the back?
No, they
Right.
just had like I can't remember. It had something written on it,
Oh,
and then
right,
the number
okay.
was 69.
69, okay,
but
right.
they also had
Universal.
someone pretending to be his bodyguard. I'm like pretending to push people away. It's amazing.
It's a lovely
Oh,
old
I
job.
love that.
Very, very enjoyable. Again, football once again getting it right, everybody. All right, let's have a quick break.
Yeah, and I know we're not experts. We're not doctors. We're not scientists. But
Everybody, that was Matt Letizia there
Good
with
stuff.
some unwise
Important
words.
information.
Welcome back to the Football Ramble. Now we've got an important urinals update. Which you have opened a right old can of piss with this. We had a flood of correspondence about it when you mentioned you heard a chap in the bogs at a football match talking about wanting a urinal in his house, and the chap's wife saying no, understandably so. Well, yes, so a lot of correspondence about this. Jerry Dunham emailed show@footballramble.com to say, 2 things that struck me. One is that Vish probably peed in one of the urinals that I supplied to Loftus Road recently. We refurbished some toilets there. Hope he enjoyed the experience. And 2, there is such a thing as urinals in a house. My mate from Germany has one.
Yay!
Well,
Nice to hear someone so proud of their work.
Yeah.
I could
Uber
see it.
urinal.
I'm on board.
this is
I like
why
it.
we left the EU because of shit like this.
Oh, dear. It's nice that you've pissed in another man's handiwork.
I see what you're saying. I don't think I did use those urinals because
You're more of a bowl man.
well, it was it's just a trough. It's Loftus Road. It's so old. Like,
Yeah.
it was one of those.
It's just a trough. That is still a urinal, though.
I don't think it is it?
I think it is.
No, it's a trough, is it not?
Yeah.
Show it from- show it
So,
from
yeah, let us know. I mean,
ramble.com.
let's see how long we can make this
Do you
last.
have a piss trough in your house? Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, interesting.
In fact, if you do have a piss trough in your house, never listen to us again. And don't email in.
Well, it's interesting he said that his mate from Germany has one because other German listeners, apparently we've got some German listeners, which is lovely, willkommen, have been in touch to say it's common in Germany.
I'm on board.
it's a strange one. I don't see. It's not like a sort of Japanese super toilet, is it? I don't.
Well,
see
that's what I mean. I mean,
game-changing element here.
I'm off to Japan on Friday. I cannot wait for it to blow
Water in your bum.
my bum. Cannot wait. So that I've got to have that in my
Dirty
house.
bastard.
Well, it's the
Well,
very
the opposite
definition
of
of being
that.
opposite, isn't it?
You pervy bastard.
Yeah.
Correct. Do you not think that, like, Japanese toilets and a urinal, you've completed life? Like, that's just absolutely ideal.
I don't know. I think that, to me, having a urinal in someone's house, it is a bit like going to a French service station. You go, no, I'm just going to use the toilet. Where is it? It's a hole in the ground.
Right. Okay.
How? This is just
When did you last go to France?
I know,
Been on a booze cruise.
Oh, massively, Jim. And you were missed that
Your
year.
little beer doors.
No, it's true. It's French service stations. Some of them have that. Have you?
Right.
Have you never?
Yeah, I mean, like, they're big in like South Asia. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
A long
France.
drop.
Like not that far away. You
Oh, I
don't
see what you're
expect
saying,
to
right.
find a long drop in France, do you?
Right.
Deary
Did
me.
you need a piss because you were queuing up for the border at this end? Is that why?
I had,
Bloody hell.
I had a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah.
The queue was massive.
Apparently,
And you've
French,
got your sovereignty back. So you're happy.
apparently French service stations also, well, I suppose it depends what part of France you are in, but have incredible food.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this one didn't.
Check it out.
No.
Adrian
nonsense.
Childs apparently has one in his house.
Adrian
We were
Childs-
saying
A
that
French
quite a lot.
service station.
A French service station in his house, yeah.
Right.
Changed his life, apparently.
Yeah, no, a lot of people got in touch with us. He wrote in a Guardian column.
His Guardian columns are incredible. They're always about the strange,
Yeah.
like, banal, niche little things that he gets up to.
I've got a lot of time for Childs, but his partner is the editor.
Yes, I was-
So you do sort of go,
see.
I can see why he gets away with
shit.
this.
Right.
I was about
right.
to say that.
Must
yeah.
be nice.
But the title of his article was "I have a urinal in my flat, and it changed my life. So why are people aboard? How did it change his life?"
Somehow flat implies that it's not in the bathroom.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, but it can't be, Jim, because how would having a urinal in your bathroom change your life? It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
I
It just
don't-
makes everything a bit more hygienic. Whereas if it was a rogue thing, like it was in the lounge, so he could
Yeah.
still watch football.
You mean
while
like the
he
way
was doing
that
it.
people in flats have kitchen diners sometimes?
all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, exactly.
Toilet bedroom.
No, but it
That-
has to be something.
The thing is,
Vish.
that doesn't go far enough. I think if you're going to go that way with it not being in the bathroom, you just essentially have access to each pipe as it runs around the flat. Just got a little entrance in each pipe.
Oh,
You pop
no.
off a lid, in
Yeah,
you go.
in you
Saves
go,
your trip
yeah.
to the bathroom. Pop it back on again. It's fine.
But if it changed
That's
his life,
game-changing.
it has to be something radical. It can't be in the bathroom.
I think it changed his life because I think he's in his head. He thinks he's bought back time. But what that says to me is, I reckon he doesn't wash his hands.
Right.
Agreed.
fair.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, let us move on to something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Foster has retired.
Oh,
Again.
again.
he'll be back.
Yeah, he retired last September, but signed for
Yeah.
Wrexham in March this year. Had, what was it, 12 appearances, I think? And he does go down in history with that club. That save against Notts County on their
Yeah.
way to promotion, of course. But he conceded 13 goals in 4 games this season so far, which was not brilliant. He was a bit poor in the 5-5 draw on the weekend, and he said, "You know what? I'm not at the standard I want to be, so I'm out."
We kept turning to camera saying, don't forget to hit like and subscribe before turning around and trying to save the ball, and it just doesn't work.
I think I have really enjoyed his YouTube output while he's being a professional footballer. And came out weird. A classic Wednesday sentence. And I think it's going to be a real shame because I really like watching him sort of just, tell us about the hotel he's in on an away day and doing like drills and stuff. I really like that
He
stuff.
probably can still do that, but just
He
more as a
probably could
fan,
still
I
do
would
it,
say.
yeah.
I think the danger of someone like that having more time to talk on YouTube is you end up talking about the same things that other people talk about on YouTube.
True. Yeah.
Maybe he'll start doing music, boxing.
Yeah.
That's what they all do, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. Maybe he'll do a Matt Le Tissier. Let's hope not, though. Let's
Doesn't
hope
seem
not.
that type.
I mean, could he get picked up by other football clubs producing content, say like Newcastle United?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
The second and I think third and fourth
So
episodes
they're dropping
dropped.
a couple of episodes at a time now.
Well, I think they're supposed to. I think they were supposed to drop one episode a week, but I think something went wrong on Amazon's end. They dropped all 4, revealed that Adidas had signed a contract with Newcastle United, and so Adidas had to proper Keystone cops it and go, we're doing this. It's just good stuff.
So how's it all been going though?
So episode 1 was very much
For those of us who don't want to watch
washing as an art form, and it was very heavy on Staveley and co. This one is more based around the cup final.
Yeah.
And
what it means to the city.
what it means
and
to the
people.
city and Dan Burn. And I mean, to be honest, like Amanda she has a very strange way of
Amanda
addressing
Staveley.
people. Amanda Staveley, yes.
How are you feeling, Angel?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Hello, Amanda.
Hello, my favourite one.
You all right?
I'm good, my angel.
My
Angel, favourite one.
yeah.
Very huggy.
She
very
reminds
intimate
me
hugs.
of Mrs. Coulter from His Dark Materials.
Right.
A very sort of outwardly friendly persona that is just icy. There is
right.
ice in the veins, and you are so aware of it, and it's kind of frightening.
Yeah.
It's also it's a lot of things, this documentary, and one of those things is boring. It's really boring,
But
isn't it? Not much happens.
A lot of
these-
football documentaries are, though.
Yeah, and they try and sort of like it is just all about the investment fund. It is
Yes.
just all about those
It's
characters.
showing off.
But it just seems weird that they would do that.
Yeah.
It
I
seems
think
like they've kind of scored at their own goal a little bit because they're putting too much focus on that, and it's really distasteful for obvious bloody reasons.
They've
Yeah.
sort of misjudged what's interesting about it. haven't
Yeah,
they,
I
suppose?
mean, so the back end of episode 2 details how difficult it was to get the front of shirt sponsor and how important it was to secure the functioning, function financially under financial fair play, get players in and stuff. And the way they try and sell is it Salah the front of shirt sponsors, the way they sort of sell it as like being, well, this was a hard-won thing. We all know where this is.
After approaching over 1,000 companies, the club have 2 deals on the table and need to make their choice.
From a financial perspective, the Salah opportunity is the one that we should progress.
That was me. That was me dropping my pint because I couldn't believe that they'd managed to nail down Salah. I mean, wow, how did that happen?
And they've approached over 1,000 companies and got 2 on the table.
Yeah.
That makes them look crap.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit about the rule changes meaning that clubs can't be sponsored by companies who are linked to the club's owners, and they are fuming about that. And she's sort of talking about how we've got so little revenue anyway. She's talking about how it's sort of outrageous, but it's like that's the level playing field. That's the same for everyone, and they essentially get what they want in the end anyway, because it's
they relax it.
becomes the case as we have it now, where you just have to prove that the sponsorship is at sort of market rate, but it's still a very generous loophole. There is a bit I enjoyed at the end. There's before the cup final where there's a fan who says something like, if Newcastle win the cup, the country will never have seen anything like the reaction up in Newcastle. And
Again, threatening.
it is one of the. It is, it does get lost that it's impressive that there's such a sort of fervent support for the club in a city that only has one club in it. Don't you think?
Right.
So impressive. Always found that so impressive and unique about Newcastle.
Outrageous.
Oh, where do they get that passion for that one club when there's only that one club? It's
You got Gateshead over the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, Jim. Having a go at the Piff Posse.
Ashington as well. They're there.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts.
Yeah, dear me. If you were a season ticket holder, Peter, would you throw your season ticket at them?
Not too valuable.
Ah,
They put the prices up.
did they?
So, yeah.
Oh, so you can be bought as well. Then. Well, we got a tweet.
Well, I would say that when I put the first episode sort of review on YouTube, the YouTube comments have continued to come in, and somebody was saying, last season when you were begging for a cup final ticket, I was like, I paid $2,000 for that fucking from a scalper. I wish I had fucking begged. Cheeky shit.
$2,000.
$2,000.
We got a tweet
Don't
from
tell my partner.
we got a tweet from Grant Barker, who said, on the back of the throwing season tickets chat on Monday, I was at the Newcastle 4 Arsenal 4 game a few years ago and saw a man throw his season ticket at Pardew when Newcastle went 4-0 down after 20 odd minutes. Love it.
Would you have stuck around, you reckon? Or is it like I've made my
That's the thing. He might have stayed.
yeah.
Alan, there's sorry, can I have that back? I lost it celebrating the 4th goal.
What, you want more of this? You want another like heart in your mouth nightmare situation where you have to come back from 4-0 down?
Pardew's like, can I do the dance? Okay, fine. Then you can give it back to me.
Pardew just gets out some Rizzler and starts rolling with it. What are you doing?
Gentlemen, let's end the show with some Roy Keane chat. Mark Pugash recently revealed that Roy Keane got into an argument with a woman at a Neil Diamond concert because she was repeating all the lyrics and singing along to Sweet Caroline.
Singing along to a song at a concert. He's annoyed about that.
Although that's a notoriously sing-alongable song.
Yeah.
As well.
If she's repeating the lyrics, though.
Oh, so
it's
yeah.
if she's doing them just after,
Like
Neil
a
Diamond song,
like a hype
that
man.
would be annoying.
Touching hands.
Trying to do it in the round.
I love it.
Also, Roy Keane would have given it. Who sings this song? Neil Diamond. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Let him sing it then. Let him have a sing.
Dear me. Love that, everybody. Right, well, thank you very much for listening to the Football Ramble, part of the Acast Creator Network. Patreon subscribers, don't go anywhere. Every Wednesday, we're bringing an extended Ramble episode for you, our Patreon subscribers. So if you're signed up, keep listening for more Ramble goodness, which includes a new tale about Kevin Keegan from a listener. And if you're not a Patreon subscriber, then get yourselves over to our Patreon by hitting the link in the show notes or searching patreon.com/Football Ramble to subscribe for just $5 a month. Also, don't forget now, because we're on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Football Ramble. And always subscribe on your podcast app if you haven't. There we are. Thank you very much, Jim Campbell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Farewell.
Thank you, Batusian.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers for watching another fantastic clip from the Football Ramble podcast. Make sure you click like on this video and subscribe to the channel, which means you will not miss a single upload.